Welcome back to the Morning Show here on the Arise News Channel. A National Reconciliation Committee set up by the All Progressives Congress, APC, was recently sent to Edo State, Nigeria, to resolve the lingering crisis rocking the party in the state. According to reports, the Ahmed Lawan-led Reconciliation Committee was rejected by Governor Godwin Obaseki-led government on the grounds that some of its members were people of interest in the crisis rocking the ruling party. Commissioner for Information and Orientation, Paul Ohonbamu Crusoe Osagie, noted that the committee did not only fall short of the most basic of integrity tests, but that committee is also a disservice to genuine efforts to bring a lasting solution to the crisis rocking different chapters of the APC across the country. Joining us to discuss this and other issues are two gentlemen. From our Rise Abuja studio, we have Honorable Thomas Okosun, former state chairman of the All Progressives Congress in Edo State, and over here in Lagos, Erasmus Ikhide, senior special assistant, senior special assistant on media to former Governor of Edo State, Adams Oshiomhole, who is now chairman of the All Progressives Congress at the national level. Ikhide was also former senior special assistant on media to former governor of Osun State, Rauf Aregbesola, who is now the Minister of Interior at the federal level. Welcome to the Morning Show, Erasmus, and welcome to the Morning Show, Thomas Okosun. It's good to have you both on the Morning Show.
Good morning.
Thank you very much. Let me start with you, Erasmus. Thank you. Yeah, let me start with you. You've been former this, you've been former that in two different states. What, in your estimation, is really the cause of this terrible crisis in Edo State within the APC? I mean, we have a party that has just imploded. Is it about the re-election in 2010? Is it about 2020? Is it about ego conflict, among various players? Or is it just, this is just poor leadership? People were behaving like children playing with candy and not knowing what it is all about.
I think, first of all, it's a combination of all of these factors that you just analyzed in terms of leadership question of that state. For instance, you will agree with me that the three components of leadership has to do with competence, character, and compassion. And when any leader lacks this, then there's bound to be crisis, there's bound to be implosion within the political party. And that is exactly what we are experiencing. And then the interests of the people suffer. That is exactly what this crisis is about. You look at for instance, in 2015 election, 2019 election, this year's election, was part of the major crisis that erupted, that exploded the party. I've listened to both sides of the divide. The Comrade Governor was saying, the former governor, my former boss, was saying that the crisis of the party is that he merely said that he was going to have some candidate of the party who, across the board, were about defected to the other political party, that they were going to have second term in office. And that was done a couple of other states, so that they would be able to forestall, the mass exodus from the APC to the other party. But the governor, city governor, said no, that as a governor, he is entitled to nominate those who should contest election in the party. So, but their inability to put this together, to resolve this amicably, was exactly the crisis that almost consuming the party right now. But I think they could still find a way out of it in the interest of the people, because at the moment, the state is in crisis. There is a major crisis there that is being invested by both sides of the party, of the divide. But my major crisis was the lax Pastor Izeyamu joining the party. I was a victim, but I just came to Benin on that day. I was stranded for virtually 5 hours. I couldn't move. And most of the people, the actors who were involved in this, seems to be the people that were said to have been sponsored by the political party, by the governor. And then you saw people pushing vehicles to the road, setting it ablaze, and nobody could move anywhere. And for me, I'm quite disturbed that the state is even now be in a crisis that you hardly can even move anywhere. You hardly can hold an opinion. You hardly can speak, either for in favor of the governor, because you are tagged as a supporter of the governor, or you are tagged as a supporter of the Comrade Governor. And the moment you are tagged as a supporter of the Comrade Governor, your life is at risk. I have an instance of one of the councillors in my place who went to a meeting and his head was smashed for not raising a 4x4 signal. And then, for me, that is not the democracy that we envisage, and we will be fighting for, be advocating. So this is a major thing. This crisis needs to be resolved in the interest of the people, because the governors are taking the back seat, and their lead development has been arrested as a result. So for us, it's not in the best interest of the people. More so now that there is a lot of crisis across the country, and then if Edo, where you have the leaders, the governors, there shouldn't be this lack of reconciliation, that was suggested by the national chairman.
Okay, let me bring in Honorable Thomas Okosun into this conversation. What is your interpretation of the political situation in Edo State? Is former Governor Adams Oshiomhole deliberately undermining the position of Governor Obaseki as executive governor of Edo State, and by extension, the APC leader of the state at the state level? What is your interpretation of it, really?
Well, let me first of all comment the statement made by Erasmus Ikhide. He has appropriately described what is happening in Edo State. But except to say just now that what is going on in Edo State, I have said it over and over, that it is not really between Comrade Adams Oshiomhole, the national chairman of APC, and Godwin Obaseki, the governor of Edo State. It is about the way and manner that the man that we put in office as governor of Edo State, using our platform, the All Progressives Congress, has treated the leadership of the party and has treated the party, and that the fortune of the party, the APC, was dwindling, and so many of us came together and said, look, we cannot allow this man to destroy this party. Because he was nominated to represent our party, the APC. So he didn't just become governor of Edo State as an independent candidate. So let's not lose the trend. Now, you said about being leader. The governor of a state, nothing makes him the leader of APC. When Comrade Adams Oshiomhole was governor of Edo State, Chief Tommy Kimi was our state leader. It wasn't Comrade Adams Oshiomhole. All our caucus meetings took place in Chief Tommy Kimi's house until he left our party. That's when Comrade had to fill the vacuum. He wasn't the chairman. And when Obaseki became governor, Comrade continued in that position. So that is, we need to correct that impression, first of all. Number two, the problem is that I hear over and over that the man says that he has to decide who will be candidate. He cannot decide for people of Edo State who should be APC candidate. No, it is the responsibility of party members across the state to say who they want to represent him, just as we chose him to represent our party and flag the flag of our party. So he cannot sit down in his office and say, you are the one to represent us in the Senate. How can he come to Edo Central, Edo South, Edo North and say, this is a candidate? No. Even if he has such powers, those who are interested in contesting election should not be shut out. So he has the responsibility to allow those people contest. And the people to conduct primaries, as it is written in our constitution, is the national. It is in the responsibility of the national chairman to send a delegation, as was done in other states, to send delegations to come and conduct primaries in every state. In other states, it wasn't the governors, where we have APC governors that decided who will be candidate, who will not be. So why should he, as Edo State, is it because Comrade Adams Oshiomhole is from Edo State that he will now transfer the powers vested in the National Working Committee to Godwin Obaseki? No. So that is one of the major issues. I agree that, like Erasmus said, that he knows that it is not the responsibility of the governor to do that. So, and the governor knows that. That is part of it. Number two, I asked a question. After the governorship, all those elections have been concluded, and you now have APC winning 24 houses of assembly in Edo State? Is it Comrade Adams Oshiomhole that says it should not allow all of them to be sworn in? And now that 14 of them up to today have not been sworn in, they have people from their constituency, they have people who voted for them, and now the people are not sworn in. Do you think the people are happy with our party? If they are not happy with our party, don't we as leaders of APC have responsibility to see how we can rescue the party from dwindling so that the party can still remain on the winning line? In 2020 election is around the corner. If we leave it for Godwin Obaseki, is the governor of Edo State, don't forget that we gave him a ticket for 4 years, and his election was for 4 years. So it is a renewable mandate. He can always come back to us and say, yes, I have done my 4 years, I'm interested in contesting the election. But we determine whether he has done well or he has not done well. And if we feel that he has done well, we can give him ticket that time. But now that some people say, oh, I will not support you, he has decided to go violent against his own party members across the 18 local government of the state, across the 192 districts. The question I want to ask Obaseki is, Governor Obaseki, I'm sorry, if he eventually gets the ticket, by all means, will he also become governor of Edo State by all means? These are some of the questions. If you want to contest election in 2020, why won't you allow your house to be bigger and stronger? Why won't you allow peace in your own party? These are some of the questions he has not answered. Last week, we were going to receive Pastor Osagie, who he narrowly defeated in the governorship election. One would ordinarily believe that Iyamu coming to the party will strengthen the party, that the governor will welcome him with all arms. Yet he said no. The man wrote to him. He refused to acknowledge the letter he wrote to him. And he said we must not conduct and he must not be allowed to come to the party, him and his supporters. What is the meaning of that? Meaning he wants to weaken our party and he doesn't care what happened to us in 2020. Meaning that if he has finished his 4 years, he can walk away from the party and the party can go to hell. But we who labor to build this party says no, we will not allow our party, the APC, to go down the drain because of the ambition of an individual. We must strengthen our party so that whoever that wants to contest under their platform can have a strong platform to contest election and win election. These are the issues.
Well, Erasmus, I mean, you listen to Honorable Thomas Okosun.
Yeah.
Do you agree with him that the blame is in the corner of Governor Obaseki? And is it, if you agree, will you also go further and say, you know, the blame is solely his? Because I've had some other names being mentioned, Philip Shuaibu, you know, the deputy governor and others.
It takes two to tango, so it will be counterfactual to say that the governor is solely responsible for the crisis. But that is not to say that the boss talks at his table to be able to resolve whatever crisis that have come. Because there were disagreements. People are saying, oh, you are not treating us as leaders of the party and all of that. As a leader, he is expected to bring in people around the table and ensure that the crisis is resolved. You see, when you get yourself involved in violence, in politics, it is not one of the attributes of the messiness of democracy. Rather, it debases and reduces the capacity of a leader who is a governor of the state. It's a sign of impotence on the part of a leader that is unable to bring back together the good, the bad, and the ugly to be able to achieve the aim. Because in the end, what matters in politics is the number. Because as you have people with electoral value, those other people who also have their nuisance value in politics are also very important. Because at the time of election, they must have their vote. Whether or not they are active participant in your government or in the processes of the political primaries that gives you the platform to be able to contest an election. And I was really shocked that a founding member of the party, Pastor Iyamu, was prevented from coming to the party, even though the man has exhausted all the channels of communication to let the governor know that this is part of it. I have all the communication, but they said it was not. It didn't get to them, and I had to ask for, you know, the evidence of letters, correspondence exchanged to that level.
Realistic. Yeah. I mean, Iyamu also wanted to be governor, and he lost to Obaseki. Yeah. I think they even contested the APC primaries together. Yeah. And then it was PDP. He was in PDP. Yes. So, but he lost to him, right? And now he's coming to the APC, right? And the fear is that he's Oshiomole's candidate, and Oshiomhole is going to hand over the primaries for 2020 to him in collusion with other key members of the party, I guess, including Honorable Thomas Okosun. So if you were governor, right, and you are in office and in power, you will allow somebody else that they want to use to displace you to come and take over and hold a rally and demonstrate that it's popular. Okay. Be fair to Obaseki.
Okay, that is fear and the desperation. The fear can be...
I didn't say fear and desperation. I said just be fair to him.
I said the fear can be entertained.
You will hand over power willingly to another
person. The governor has a reason to be afraid for his position being threatened in the next election. But it doesn't call for desperation. That people should not hold opinion in that state. Monsters are unleashed on the state. If I speak, the other day I was attacked for just writing an article about the displeasure I have experienced in the state, that all the tertiary institutions in Edo State have been shot. Iguarake have been shot, the Ekeadola have been shot, Abudu have been shot, and people who ought to have certificates, who ought to have graduated, and not, they be displaced. When you speak like that, people say, oh, you are for this person. When you do not speak in their favor, then they have to come after you. My cars were smashed, stolen, because I have just aired my mind. It's bad to see. So that's the respiration I have seen in it. But however, the governor has his right to resist the coming of the people. Perhaps, if the Jamu himself has not even said that he was going to contest. So it is just an illusion on their part, or supposition, that the man is coming to the party too, because they know the man's strength, they know his capability. Like Honorable Thomas Okosun just said, this man was barely defeated in the last election. Otherwise, he's one of the most strongest person there. So they are aware. And that is why, but what I'm saying is that there should be room for civility. The cynicism, the fear, the cracking of people's head, people who go to a meeting, they will allow them to hold opinion and all of that, is wrong. So that is why I said earlier that the importance of democracy is when you are able to convince others to come to your support. If you do not do that, you must give it a different name, not democracy. That is what we're talking about.
Well, Honorable Thomas Okosun, I'd like to come back to you. Is it really an illusion that the decamping of, or the return of Pastor Eze-Iyamu to the APC is an illusion for Governor Godwin Obaseki? Because this is seen as a checkers move, really, by former Governor Oshiomhole, and the position of the governor seems threatened. Is it an illusion? I also like to draw your attention to something you said earlier about the lawmakers that refuse to present themselves for inauguration. You blame the governor for that, and I wonder why, because this has even been challenged in court. The governor presented a proclamation for the inauguration of that state assembly, but these members did not present themselves. Why do you blame the governor still?
Okay, because I'm addressing the world, I need to put it in proper perspective so that the whole world will hear. First, let's deal with the issue of Pastor Eze-Iyamu. Eze-Iyamu coming to this party is just a matter of a few weeks ago, or just last week, or 2 weeks at most, as the case may be. So the question is, if it is because of Eze-Iyamu that was coming to the party 2 weeks ago, what happened since the House of Assembly was inaugurated? Was it because of Eze-Iyamu? When he started attacking our people across the state, was it because of Pastor Eze-Iyamu? So the issues had always been there before that day. Maybe you need to follow up the story. But let me tell you that we made our own declaration publicly on First of May this year, 2019. Several months ago, that's about 7-8 months ago, where we made a proper declaration that we have fed up with the governor of Edo State, and that we only gave him a ticket for 4 years, and at the expiration of that 4 years, we would not support his candidature. We had expected at that time that he would do everything to try to make peace with the party and say, wait, I'm sorry, I've gone astray. I didn't know that this is the situation. Please, what do we do to make peace? Instead of pursuing peace, he decided to go violent, to attack us in our homes, various places, and start to dismiss people, believing that when he finished attacking us, he will force us and get the ticket for 2020, but which is really impossible because as a governor, he's not going to be the one to be the umpire in the primaries. I do not know how he thinks that those he has killed, those he has maimed, those he has destroyed their property will support him in the next election. I had thought a reasonable politician We want to make peace with people that he think that they feel angry and aggrieved because of his conduct. But no peace, even when the National Party set up the various committees to come and reconcile the warring factions, the warring groups. The same man had refused. 3 weeks ago, he went to court, got an order restraining Governor Ganduje's committee, reconciliation committee, from coming to Edo State and to hear the matter. That he does not want peace, he doesn't want reconciliation. What kind of a leader will sit and says his house is burning and say he will not try to put up the fire? He does not want a mediator to help solve the problem. This same governor, his colleagues, governors, met with him in Abuja and said, okay, we are coming to Edo to help reconcile and make sure there is peace in Edo State. The same man refused. Was he Pastor Isiamu? Was he scared of Pastor Isiamu at that time? These are several questions. Recently, the Senate President Committee was against it. The same man says, no, I will not meet with these people. Who is really the aggressor here? Can you get a ticket by force? That is the question. Assuming Isiamu really wanted to contest election, and Obaseki has done well, will people not support Obaseki against Pastor Isiamu who want to just come to the party? It will even take Pastor Isiamu a longer time to try to integrate again into the party that has left over a long period of time. If he had done well, will he not get it? But let me quickly say to you, Comrade Adams Oshiomhole took over power from Professor Sareme Osumbo, yet Comrade did everything to have Professor Sareme Osumbo back to APC. As we speak, Osumbo is in the APC now. The former Deputy Governor, Imasue, is even working with Comrade Adams Oshiomhole. That is how you can see a man with a large heart. He tried everything to bring everybody together. Now, the issues with Obaseki is not a personal matter. We always say that we are not satisfied with his conduct, and as party leaders, we will not allow our party that we have labeled her to go down. These are the issues that we are dealing with here. That's the first part. Second question you asked concerning the House of Assembly. Now, I was part and parcel. I have been a Speaker of Edo State House of Assembly. So I know the procedure to become for people to be sworn into a House of Assembly. Now, let me tell you. On the 17th, after 19 members of the House of Assembly, members-elect, addressed a press conference in the afternoon. That why is the governor refusing to swear in the release the letter of inauguration? At midnight, by 9:30, if you watch, you can see copies. You can see, I can send you pictures of how a member of House of Assembly was to be sworn in, and he was wearing short knicker. His family was not aware. Nobody was aware. It's a big ceremony when the House of Assembly members are elected and to be sworn in. It's made public. Now, you said they went to court when they have gotten a decision. But that is also being challenged in the court. Because the question is, do you hold sitting at 9:30 p.m. at odd hours? What time do you release? When you talk about publication of a letter of proclamation, there are procedures to be followed. If those things are not done, then something is wrong. Did you conscript some people and say you have not been sworn in, the others are not sworn in? Why? But let me ask you seriously, on a very serious note. These 24 members are all APC members. If we have a governor that is listening, that has a large heart, that is able to carry his party members along, why would he not be able to agree with these 24 members? Even if they say this is the person, he cannot impose a speaker on them. In 1999, my then party, the PDP, attempted the same thing to say, look, Okosun, we don't want you as speaker. This is somebody else we want. And the member said, no, we have a responsibility to choose who will be our speaker. And we went to the floor of the House, contested, and I won. Because the member said this is the person they want to lead them. So does a governor have the responsibility and the right as a dictator to say, this is the speaker that I want, it must be so. When it's not so, I drive you, all of you. Fine, drive them. They are home, they are not hungry, they are not begging, and they are not waiting. 2020 is around the corner. You cannot force the same people to vote for you. You cannot force their families to vote for you. But who will suffer? If Obaseki loses the election, we will leave Edo State and go to Lagos. But our party would have gone down the drain. We do not want to allow that to happen. We have a responsibility to save our party.
Honorable Okosun, I mean, you've been consistently, critical of Governor Godwin Obaseki. And you made some allegations against him. You've said he's guilty of killing, of maiming, of attacking people. He could turn around and accuse you and sue you for defamation, Because are you sure you can prove all these allegations? Because it's one thing to play politics. It's another thing to be able to say these things I'm saying, they are facts and they are truthful. Because you may be guilty unwittingly of damaging his reputation. But anyway, don't worry. We'll take a short break. Erasmus, you also want to say something? Just hold your thoughts, gentlemen. We'll take a short break. When we return, the conversation will continue. It's still the morning show. Welcome back to the morning show here on the Arise News channel. Still with us in our Abuja studio is Honorable Thomas Okosun, former state chairman of the All Progressives Congress in Edo State. And over here in Lagos, we have Erasmus Ikhide, former senior special assistant on media to former Governor Adams Oshiomhole of Edo State, and also former senior special assistant media affairs to former Governor Rauf Aregbesola of Osun State. And before we went on break, Honorable Okosun, if I may return to you, I said, look, you have said things on this program this morning that may be considered defamatory per se of the person of the incumbent governor of Edo State, Godwin Obaseki, and that, your claims, were he to sue you for defamation or libel, will those allegations stand the test of truth?
Okay, let me first correct one thing, and I will still stand my ground. First, I never said that they have killed people, but that they have attacked our people. Let me give you an example. You must have witnessed what happened on the 12th of this month, December, by the airport gate, when state-sponsored youths blocked the airport. That plane that landed, the passengers would not be evacuated from the airport. And they stayed in the evening and said, look, they are going to stop Comrade Adams Oshiomhole from entering the state. You're also aware that on the 13th, several persons, I'm telling you categorically, I challenge anybody because we have pictorial evidence, we have video evidence. People were attacked from attending Pastor Izeyamu's declaration because they said they didn't want it. They also, that same day, let me quickly say to you, the prelude to some of those things. The day that Izeyamu was to declare for the party, all schools were shut down, and even private schools, and the private schools were threatened. On the 11th at night, the school that Pastor Izeyamu was to use for declaration, part of that school, Garrick Memorial Primary School, part of the school was burnt down. All because to stop stop Izeyamu from coming to this party. This same, you heard Erasmus saying how he was personally attacked by people. These are not outsiders. They were sponsored by persons. There was an attack on our people at Iviaro. There was an attack on our people in General Sahon's house, a former House of Representative member, because he was holding a party meeting for our people. They were attacked. There was an attack on our people at Igbobaoka. There were attacks on our people in Esako East, in Esako Central, and Esako East as well. So it is not just, it's not a hearsay. These are clear evidence across the state. If it is not sponsored by the state, what did the state do in order to mitigate that or to frustrate those things? Nothing was done to stop it. Now, let me quickly say this to you, that we cannot say things that we are not. The issue here, like I said earlier, is that it is not a personal matter of Obaseki. I have nothing against him as an individual, but I have something against the way and manner that he's treating the party, and that the fortune of our party, the APC, is dwindling. I, as Okosun, who fought hard for this party, to survive this party, cannot fold my hands, and other people, meaning APC members, will not allow to fold hands and let the party go down the drain. We are ready, determined to rebuild our party. If Obaseki is still willing to contest election under our platform, he has the right to do so. Just as any other person has the right to say, I want to contest for governorship under the party. It is then at that time that the membership across the 192 wards, across the 18 local government, that will decide who will be. And of course, God sitting on the throne, Almighty, who knows it tomorrow, who knows the end from the beginning, will decide the way to go. But what we did say is that we will not be scared, we will not be cowed by any force to say, because we are governor. Don't forget that it's a birth of passage. Whether you spend 8 years, you will still leave the office. Comrade Adams Oshiomhole was governor. When he was going to contest for a second tenure, he did not have to fight with anybody, he did not have to quarrel with people. In fact, it was APC women, ACN members then, with women that came to Abuja to buy ticket for his re-election. Nobody contested against him. Not because people didn't want, but because they found that the man has done credibly well, and he was supporting the party, and he contested the election. He won the 192 wards. He won the 18 local government, unprecedented in the political history of Edo State. You can see how it was accepted. This is a Benin man as well. We have a new governor. We had expected him to do the same way, the same thing, so that the party will be stronger, the people will become acceptable to the people. But instead of doing so, he had decided to go a different way. We leave him to his fate, but what we are saying is that he cannot force us by 2020 to support him to be candidate of our party. This is it, and that is the fact.
What you cannot take away from him is that he has his own supporters, and his own supporters hold a different view. But Erasmus, you were itching to say something about this issue of defaming the government.
What I'm saying is that my major concern is that the government should not be seen to be romanticizing with monstrosity or violence. And I said earlier that on May 8, 2018, Blessing Abomere, who was a candidate in the last election, 2016 election, was attacked by thugs supposedly loyal to the government. And then on April 27, 2018, Senator Matthew Ikhide was attacked at the airport in the presence of the governor at the airport. And I gave them a thumb up for doing that because he is president.
You have the evidence.
Oh, the video, the pictures, everything are there. No. I'm not a man of frivolities. I have all the evidence. If you Google everything, you see the pictures are there. In fact, the youth leader of that party was also attacked. And then the 14 House of Assembly member-elect who were in a hotel, in a meeting, the videos are here everywhere. When they were holding a meeting, they bumped into the hotel and smashed their heads. So what I'm saying is that we should not begin to have this kind of incident in my state. We should be away from.
This one is also from
the state. You are from the state. So we should be concerned.
I'm very concerned. I'm disappointed.
There's a band of hair hunters in the states who are looking for people to just behead, just so because you don't hold the same opinion as that of the governor, or just so that you do not raise your two leprous 4x4 hands, and then you are sacked as a local government chairman that have been elected by the people and councillor. Well, how did we get to this place? And when people lay claim to civility, it means we are gradually getting to the end of democracy, or the death of democracy, or the death of civilization.
You ask a very pertinent question, how did we get here? Because the two gentlemen in the eye of the storm when it comes to this crisis were once very close, associates and allies. But when it comes to Edo State crisis, a lot of political watchers and the people of Edo State are concerned about governance, which is paramount. And I want to ask you, because you have worked with Comrade Adams Oshiomhole, and you also heard what Honorable Thomas Okosun said earlier, that this is nothing personal, this is about governance. And this is the same thing Comrade Adams Oshiomhole has said, that it is nothing personal when it comes to this issue, it is about governance. Are you surprised to hear that all of this crisis is about governance in Edo State? And some of the allegations former Governor Adams Oshiomhole has made in this crisis is that projects are being abandoned, projects from his administration. He points to the hospital, the infamous hospital. And he also says Governor Obaseki is retiring old politicians in the APC. Is that governance? Is it truly about governance in Edo State?
I'm not surprised that we're here. In 2018, I wrote a very, very detailed article. I said, Edo 2060, clown in search of crown. And in that article, I was saying that from what I've seen, the foundation that the governor had laid, he didn't need a man who said he's a capitalist to be governor. That all he needed is a leftist like him who subscribed to his own ideology, who subscribed to the basis of development that he shares. But therefore, we became an enemy. Up to now, I have not spoken to Adams Oshiomhole for more than 3 years because of that. Because I've told him the truth, that this guy, from what I have seen, we work together in the same government. I never saw the charisma, the courage, and the competence of a leader that should be able to take the Edo State to the next level. I might be wrong. His supporters, as you said, may have a different view to that. But that is why the Edo State completely at the moment is on its belly. Nothing is happening there. But I could give to the governor a lot of innovation in terms of the old structures are being renovated. I'm very proud about that. But when you see roads constructed today, by the next morning, they are washed off. When you see schools, children have been In fact, you are aware that the Industrial Court at Igborahi gave a judgment that the government has refused to obey, that the students, the workers, they should be paid, the students should be reabsorbed into other institutions around. How do you explain that a governor shooting down about more than 5 institutions in the state? What happened to the people? We are talking about Boko Haram in the North. We are talking about the basis is that people had been completely abandoned. That gives rise to uprising. So by the time we have crisis or the prince of, militarization in that part of your state, you too will be happy that a lot of things happening there. A governor who subscribes to education and civility should be seen to be ensuring that the education of the people is paramount. That is my argument.
Well, Honorable Okosun. Honorable Okosun, are you still with us?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, we've so far done a good job of describing the problem in Edo State. How, in your opinion, can that state make progress? You are in Abuja, you've been former speaker, you've been former state chairman of the APC in Edo State, and I imagine that some of those lawmakers that are in exile in Abuja who claim that their lives are not safe in Edo State. I don't know whether you've been interacting with them, what they are saying to you, but there's also law that says they can't just abandon their seats. Should their seats be declared vacant? That's one part from the legislature. Now, what can or should the state government do to appease the godfather? Obaseki had gone to visit Oshiomhole once, twice in his country home in Yamho. That seems not to have worked. The National Reconciliation Committee tried to intervene. That seems not to have worked. What should happen? What do you suggest? How can this problem be resolved as a leader of the party in Edo State?
Okay, thank you very much. Before I respond to that, let me quickly go back a little bit, because we talk about governance. A governor's responsibility is to serve the people. And our issue is that if a governor we're expecting to do more and is not doing enough so that the party can win easily in the further elections, we have a responsibility to call him and say, look, you are holding this office because the party gave you a platform. You are not an independent candidate. So that is the first thing. For example, let me tell you, I was pro-chancellor of Tayo Akpata University of Education. I had to resign because all the promises that we made to these people, the governor had reneged and had failed, the school is shut down. I do not want to be part of those who helped to destroy education in this state, because I know what I went through and how God has served me through education in this country. If not for education, I would not be where I am today. I would not be able to come before. You would not even invite me to Arise TV to speak to the world. That is one. So I believe that Erasmus has captured it appropriately. The way forward, you have asked me. It lies with Godwin Obaseki, the governor of Edo State. Because when he was going to contest for this election in 2016, I remember he came to my house and he said he wanted to. I said, how can I support you? Remember in 2012, we made you executive chairman of economic team. You both said to me, of course, why did you make me executive chairman? You want to tie me down in Edo State? I'm not a politician. And so when he came, I told him no, until Comrade prevail on a lot of us. And I said, okay, Comrade, for your sake, but you will regret all these things. Like a joke. It was like a joke. Comrade said, no, I trust him. I said, okay. It was on my phone and when we finished voting at Samuel Bermudian Stadium. I snapped the ballot paper. His number, it was number 8 on the ballot paper. It was on my phone the day we were deciding who would be deputy governor of Edo State. That Godwin Obaseki saw how the ballot paper looked like, because he was not a delegate and he could not vote for himself. He didn't even vote for himself. So he wrote on the back of Comrade Adams Oshiomhole to be there. Now, when he was going wrong, we went to Comrade and said, we foresaw this coming. It has happened. Call this man, because the fortune of our party will be going down if you do not call him. He attempted and tried several times and failed. And we told Comrade, well, we have crossed the borderline. We are no longer going to support it. Let me say to you, if Comrade joined him today, that's why I keep saying that it's not between him and Comrade. If Comrade and Obaseki join together, Comrade will look back. I will not find somebody behind him. It will be like a general without a troop. However, it is the governor who wants something. It is the governor, and the thing that he wants is with us, the APC leaders. He has a responsibility to appeal to the people, do the right thing, strengthen our party, get our members elected that are not sworn in to be sworn in, so that those people can go back to their various constituencies and campaign for our party in 2020. It is never too late. I can say to you that it is never too late. Yes, but he has a responsibility. But if he thinks that he can take it by force, I say that would be the widest imagination of his life. There is nothing he can do. He can't take it from us by force. Let him put guns on our heads. No, he will not get the ticket. But if he apologizes and appeal to the people he has offended, yes, the people will have a change of mind, because it is easy. You can easily forgive somebody who has shown remorse. But where you do not show remorse and think that because you have public funds at your disposal, you control the resources, you are the chief security officer of the state, that you can take it by force, let me tell him that it's a lie. We have had tyrants in this world, but they collapsed. It didn't take time. This year alone, several presidents have been, by popular demonstration, have been dethroned by people. Those who hold political powers and hold military powers, they have been dethroned. Not to talk of a civil, under a democratic situation, taking only a small segment of the society, just Edo State. So I say to him, it is his responsibility to allow peace to reign, stop his men from terrorizing our people, make peace with Edo people, so that together we can make Edo State bigger. Take, for example, only yesterday here, a kiosk market was burnt. I read a piece of a letter written by a boy who just left secondary school from Niger College, that he wrote to Godwin Obaseki yesterday, that about how the fire got burnt, that his mother has a shop in the market, his grandmother had a shop in the market. Both shops were burned down. They were there. He was there physically trying to join his parents to do Christmas sale when that fire engulfed the market through an electrical fault. For 3 hours, there was no fire service to come and help put off the fire. Until the fire escalated and got to Edo Development Property Agency. That was when, 3 hours later, that a vehicle came. But you know what? The statement that was put out by Crusoe yesterday was to accuse the party those who think call his enemies. Those who are not with him, that are not supporting him, that this fire outbreak yesterday was instigated by some of us. I mean, Abuja, many of that we instigated that fire outbreak that burnt the place, and that they will get out. You know what that means? They want to see that if they can take us away and cow out. But we are not scared of that. We have seen governors. Governors will come, they will go. We are like the barrack. When you go, you will meet us. Because he must, whether he likes it or, the highest he can do is 8 years as governor. But he will be on the street with us, and then we'll know who is really popular and who is not popular among the people.
Well, you said a lot about what Obaseki should do. But do you have anything to say to the national chairman of the party, Adams Oshiomhole? Because it looks like there is God complex playing out on all sides in Edo State APC. Some people have accused Adams Oshiomhole, the national chairman of the APC, reducing himself to the level of a local champion because he wants to be a godfather and be the Lamidi Adedibu of Edo State. Do you have anything to say to him in terms of providing necessary leadership and avoiding the temptation of playing God?
I hope you listen to me. Let me quickly say to you that this complaint went to Comrade Adams Oshiomhole, and Comrade, for example, was the one who reconciled Charles Idahosa with Godwin Obaseki. It's the same Comrade Adams Oshiomhole that reconciled Reverend Rariva with Godwin Obaseki. He also attempted to reconcile us, but the man said no. Okay, if Comrade does not want peace, why will he submit himself to all entities that has been made and said, yes, he's ready to make peace, but the governor says no? Who is refusing here? And who is the aggressor? These are the issues. What will Oshiomhole gain by becoming godfather? Godfather to who? He has been national president of NLC across this country. He has been governor, and he's now chairman. What else does he need to prove? This is a man that God has shown mercy to, and he has been very grateful to the whole world. He has never failed to tell the world how his humble beginning, how God has lifted him to where he is today. That if this is all God has done for him, he is pleased with God, and God will be praised forever. I want to say to you that this has nothing to do with about being godfather. Godfather to who? And what, like I asked, what does he want to prove? If Comrade wants to be godfather, is he the one that is not telling the governor that he should not make peace with his people? At the time, you recall that the allegation which has not died down was that, oh, leaders are asking for money. That is why. And then I challenged him, and many of us challenge and say, name one man that has demanded for money from you. He could not name one person. And then finally, it is not about godfatherism. We will see, this one will still be a person, it will go, and maybe he will come up with a new idea. But we are waiting and watching.
Well, it's been a lot of allegation and counter-allegation. Mr. Erasmus, I want to ask you, is this beyond remedy? If you take out, Honorable Okosun has said it has nothing to do between the two gentlemen. But if you take out Comrade Adams Oshiomhole from this whole picture, for instance, the reconciliation committee that was constituted, the Edo State Government is saying you cannot be the judge in your own matter. This is the NWC, which the chairman controls, that constituted this committee to come to the state to reconcile them. It cannot work. If you take out Adams Oshiomhole from this whole saga, don't you think they'll be calm? And is this beyond remedy?
Well, the question to be asked also is that what effort has the governor himself made to douse the tension in the state, which is my major concern, and then the peace in his own political party? So that has to be, if you think that where the effort being made by the national body of the party is not sufficient, or the people who are there are compromised already before the committee is set up, then what effort has he made himself to ensure that there is a lasting peace in his own political party, the party that brought him to power? That's a question that should be asked. Otherwise, it's as you put in the cart before the horse. But for this peace to come, I have said this before, that when two people go into a room to settle themselves, they come back happy together with themselves, know that they have either gone to deceive themselves or they did not tell themselves the truth. What has to be done? There has to be holistic rapprochement on how to get this matter settled out. First, if the governor had done all that needed to be done, the issue of Izeyamu coming to party, the issue of Oshiomhole, or the supposition, or the, that, oh, somebody is coming to take my position, wouldn't have been there, because Ab initio, you have been supported and loved by the people, so to speak. That was why you won the election. So what are those things that you did that made you to win the election that you are not doing now? So by the time he looks at all of this, I said too that the governor should also recensor his whole political thought, his political idea. That will save the day for him. Instead of this toss-a-brew type of politics where people are being chased about just so that their opinion can be sorted by force, it's not the type of politics that should be played in my state. That is my stake there. That's the point I'm making.
Erasmus and Honorable Okosun, we had Kasim Afegwa on this program. You know Kasim Afegwa, I'm sure you know him. Yeah. And his concern is that, well, the way the APC is playing the game in Edo State at the moment, that it will be an advantage for the People's Democratic Party to win the governorship election in 2020. We have also had other people on this program who have observed that it doesn't look like the APC really wants to get a second term, either for Obaseki or for another person in the 2020 gubernatorial elections in Edo State. Is it the case that the leaders of the APC in Edo State have resolved that it's either we don't have Obaseki or we are prepared to lose this election? What really is the strategy? Because I don't see a strategy. I only see egos on display.
Like you said, ego. Most of the politicians, the size of their ego is bigger than the size of their heads. And that's why you see nobody is trying to, come for peace in the state. But what I've seen is that, we have been here before in terms of the political party like APC losing in Zamfara, losing in Rivers State and all of that. But because of the fluidity of our political system, where you couldn't say, oh, this is a total APC or total PDP, because there's no ideological disparity. In essence, they are one. So the key figure that they want to boot out could just be the governor. At the end, if another PDP person comes up, they just rally around the person because politics is not a vocation for them.
And it will just change and join the APC.
They just change straight away to the APC. So, head or tail, it is the governor that loses, not the political player, the political actors. Because they will find a way of meeting themselves, one way or the other, to say, oh, we are back here. Because of the fluidity, there's no barricade, no barrier, no Berlin Wall. So as such, you could see that they don't lose. But I have said this. There's still windows of opportunity for the reconciliation. Because whatever you can't get on the table, you cannot get it by violence.
Well, Honorable Okosun, you want to respond to that. What is the strategy for your party, or are you ready to lose Edo State next year?
No, we are not going to lose Edo State. But let me quickly say that it's a strategy. You think it was a joke that, you know what it means to have Pastor Izeyamu, who was our national vice chairman, who was the governorship candidate of PDP last time that we narrowly defeated, coming to join us, with all his supporters across in 18 local governments and 192 wards. You know, it is a strategy that we did to try to deplete PDP, so that if anybody leaves us to go to PDP, he will meet an empty house. It's a strategy. We can't tell you the full details of our strategy. Don't think we are not strategic about this election. We are. But let me state this. In your first part of your question, you were saying that the governors feels that they are coming to take his position. It is not his position. The party gave him a mandate for 4 years. The people gave him a mandate for 4 years. And that mandate can be renewed depending on the party and then the people thereafter. So it is his responsibility to please and ensure that the party is happy with him and the people as well. Now, if we say we are not happy with him, that is where we are coming to an issue of peace. Should he say that he must take it by force from us, or he should come to us and say, where did I go wrong? That is what we're asking him. We don't hate him as Godwin Obaseki. No, we don't hate him as governor. Yes, he had made mistakes. We had expected him because he's the one who is in need, not we. Because we have several alternatives to him, credible persons to become governor in Edo State.
That point is clear, but we'll need to close this conversation in a matter of just about a minute. But I just want to draw your attention to something. You are based in Abuja. Only yesterday, Crusoe Osagie, spokesperson for the governor, issued a statement saying that all these people in Abuja speaking from self-exile, he calls it, or speaking from Abuja, who are not on the ground in Edo State, that they are not genuine politicians or genuine members of the APC. You happen to be based in Abuja. Do you agree with this classification? Do you fall under this category of people speaking from outside and who have been classified as not genuine members of the party? And, you know, Crusoe Osagie says the governor is in control, is in charge of the party. And those of you Abuja-based politicians, you can't just try to dictate what happens in the state.
Okay, let me quickly say that I do not know Crusoe Osagie as a member of APC. If he's a member of APC, let him show his membership card. Which unit does he vote? He doesn't even understand the politics of Edo State. Crusoe, if he knows me, let me tell him if he doesn't know. I won my first election in 1991 when Oyegu was governor of Edo State. So I'm not a political neophyte. I won my second election 20 years ago, and I became Speaker of Edo State House of Assembly. And I became the chairman of Conference of Speakers in Nigeria, where you have people like Rotimi Amechi, Heneki Lukobri, Senator Mamora, who is minister today. Then you have people like Lalong. I can name them for him. I'm not a political neophyte. I'm not somebody who is growing from learning the ropes of politics in this country. Erasmus is there. He was SSA to Aregbesola. 2 months. I spent 2 months with Aregbesola helping him to plot his election in 2014 to win his election. And he did. So this guy doesn't understand the politics of Edo State. Let him contest election, councillorship election, and see whether Crusoe will win election. I am telling you, I've won elections. Today, let me say something. I am an employee of federal government.
Well, thank you very much.
I hold a position.
Thank you very much, Honorable Thomas Okosun.
Sorry, please, let me end by this.
Well, we just have to go. I told you we had just 1 minute left.
Where was Crusoe?
We need to go. Thank you very much. Your point is well made. And thank you very much, Erasmus Ikhide.